Chapter 5. I'm not what you call a morning person, and as I exit the flats and begin walking the 8 or so blocks towards Sarah's school, this one is no exception. We pass the local milk bar, a dishevelled wreck of a building. A couple of primary school kids in blue and yellow uniforms, like Sarah's, are coming out the door, arguing over footy cards. A large dog sits outside, tied to a bike stand, and I start thinking about Jeffrey and that girl Lily I met the other day. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about her that makes me want to see her again. Hopefully she'll be there when I arrive at school later. The commissions are always reasonably quiet in the mornings. All the lads, drunks and junkies who have been up partying and mucking about the night before are at home, coming down and sobering up. At this time of day, the streets are full of primary and secondary school kids, usually in groups of 2s and 3s, and sometimes accompanied by a parent, moving slowly towards the two local schools, which are less than a block from each other. Among the droves of kids, I see a group I recognise, standing on a street corner and throwing rocks at a cat perched on the top of a power pole. They are the Frederick brothers, 3 young juvenile delinquents from the same flats as us and destined for lad status in the future. They're aged between 10 and 14 and the middle child, Timothy, is in Sarah's class at school. I watch as Sarah looks over at them and sees what they're doing to the cat. She moves to storm over to them, but I catch her arm and pull her in the other direction. Come on, I tell her. It's not worth it. We begin walking up the street, Sarah giving the finger to the Fredericks as we pass. Timothy's really going to get it when we get to class, she tells me. I'm going to punch him till he cries. 15 minutes later, we arrive at the gates of Sarah's school. I squat down to her eye level. See you, Jace. She hugs me and kisses me on the cheek. Have a good day, I tell her, pulling a stray leaf out of her hair. Be safe coming home and don't start any fights because of the Fredericks. Sarah smirks. I'll try not to, though you're not exactly one to talk about starting fights. I laugh. God, she's beginning to get sassy. I look across the playground and notice a group of mums and dads watching us from afar. Just be safe, okay? I say in seriousness. I will, replies Sarah, and you be safe too. You know me, I wink at her. They call me Captain Safety. She gives me a cheeky grin. You're such a dork, Jason. She punches me softly in the arm, then runs off to play. I get to my feet and head off down the road towards Cade Street. It's only a 5-minute walk away from Sarah's school. Cade Street Secondary is a big old ugly thing made of bluestone. From a distance, it looks like an oversized toilet block or a prison. A prison intent on capturing inspired minds and wild imaginations and re-educating them towards more mundane tasks. It's been around for youngsters built sometime after the Depression. It's undergone a few changes since then, like the science labs and electrical system that doesn't short out whenever it rains. But the honours board still reads, for God, King and Country, and apparently no one has informed them that corny slogans like, the pursuit of knowledge is the pursuit of happiness, went out of fashion years ago. I arrive at the school and head straight for the outdoor basketball court. As usual, I spot Blackjack and a few other guys from our class kicking back on a bench and smoking tailors in full view of anyone who actually gives a shit. I walk over to Blackjack and we slap hands. How you doing? First day of the week, Blackjack groans. Not bloody well. I shake hands with the rest of the guys and sit down next to Blackjack and light up a smoke. We stay there for a while chatting to the others and catching up on everyone's weekend. Blackjack has the kind of rep round school that most of us only dream about. People follow him around in droves, sucking up to him and hanging off his every word. Me, on the other hand, I'm never going to be able to compete with him. Most people in my year either don't understand me or think I'm just some deadbeat. Truth is, Blackjack and I aren't like the others. Things that are normal in our lives just aren't normal to them and vice versa. Blackjack is just better at hiding it than me. The first bell sounds and with a groan we all get up off the bench and head to class. At recess, Blackjack and I meet up and head across the schoolyard. During the break, we usually hang out in a lane a couple of streets away from the school. There are a few crates and a dirty old couch to sit on where we're well away from prying eyes. According to school policy, we aren't supposed to stray out of school grounds, but our school boundaries aren't fenced off, so no one really gives a shit. We walk across the basketball court and through a sitting area where lots of kids hang out to talk and eat. As we pass a small group at a table, I hear someone call out my name. Jason? I turn and scan the faces, looking for the person who called. To my surprise, my eyes fall on Lily, who's waving at me and beckoning for me to come over. She's sitting at a table with 2 other girls. I look back at Blackjack and he grins, raising his eyebrows. We head over and as we get closer, I see who she's sitting with, Samantha Menzer and Gemma Thorne. Gemma's a nice girl, pretty but shy. Samantha, on the other hand, is loud, obnoxious and a complete and utter bitch. She's the kind of girl who watches those annoying teen dramas and then tries to reenact them in real life. Hey, Lily nods as we come up to the table. How are you? Yeah, I'm alright, I reply, smiling at her. Hey, Mondays though. What about you? You settling in school okay? Definitely, she beams, looking around and giving Samantha a squeeze. I've already made 2 great new friends. Careful, Blackjack warns. You know with friends like these, who needs enemies, right? He nods towards Samantha. Fuck you, Jack, like you'd know. Samantha retorts, giving him the finger and turning back to Lily. Lily, this is Blackjack, Jason's little bestie. He's a total sexist sleaze, and he'll hook up with you, use you, then throw you away just as quickly he tells you you're perfect. Please don't trust him. Blackjack smiles curtly. Someone's still holding a grudge then? Lily catches my eye and we both try not to laugh. Pig, Samantha mutters, flipping him off again. again, then turns to me sweetly. How was your weekend, Jason? Not bad, I shrug. The usual, I guess. Oh, really? Samantha smirks. I heard you got dicked by the cops on Friday night. What'd you do? Where'd you hear that? My brother. Samantha's brother is one of Spike's best customers. Lily gives me a funny look and I feel a tingle of embarrassment wash over me. I turn back to Samantha annoyed. Yeah, I did, so what? Samantha just keeps smirking. Anyway, I turn back to Lily. I hope you're settling in okay. I guess I'll see you around sometime. Yeah, catcha, Lily waves. Hopefully we can hang out soon. Blackjack and I continue on our way. After a minute, Blackjack leans over and asks, where'd you know her from? Her rod attacked me when I was passed out in the park, I tell him. You lucky bastard, Blackjack shakes his head. She's cute. We walk over to the laneway and sit down on the couch. A few other kids we know rock up, so we roll a spliff and listen to a semi-mate of ours, Mark Howitt, whinge about how the Year 10 coordinator, Mr. Rogers, keeps giving him detention for rocking up to class late. The school bell sounds in the distance, marking the end of recess, and we all head back to school. I have English and Humanities for the next 2 periods, so I grab my books from my locker and head to class. If I profane with my unworthiest hand... Mr. Fairfield's loud monotone reading is interrupted by a knock at the door and a boy enters, delivering him a note. Mr. Fairfield inspects the note, then looks up at the class. Jason, you need to go see Mr. Rogers immediately. Fuck, I think, as the class lets out a low. Ooh. I get up and grab my books and head for the door. I walk down the corridor towards Mr. Rogers' office. Mr. Rogers is the Year 10 coordinator and a complete and utter prick. With his balding head and his strict uptight manner, he's the school board's wet dream and the devil to any student who's ever walked these corridors. I don't know what this is about, but it definitely isn't going to be good. I can't remember doing anything wrong that might have gotten me into trouble recently, but Mr. Rogers is the kind of person who likes to stockpile evidence, then spring it on you when you least expect it. I arrive at his office and knock on the door. A voice inside answers, Enter. Mr. Rogers' office is a medium-sized room with no windows and smells of years of daily coffees combined with a hint of depression and self-loathing. The walls are lined with pictures and student awards, as well as a framed photograph of Mr. Rogers shaking hands with the State Education Minister. Mr. Rogers sits at his desk with his back to me, writing on a piece of paper and trying to look as though he has something more important to do than lecture me. Jason, he swivels round and gestures to a chair next to him. Take a seat. He turns back to his work and continues to write. Silently, I slide into the chair and sit there patiently, waiting for his stupid attempt at suspense to end. After some time, he finishes writing and signs off with a flourish before ominously turning towards me. Now, Jason, he begins with an arrogant smile at the edge of his mouth, which makes me want to hit him. Do you know why I've asked you here today? I breathe out heavily. No idea, sir, otherwise I wouldn't have come. Mr. Rogers' mouth curls into a smirk. It's that sort of cheek, young man, that has landed you in this office 8 times in the past year alone. I sit there glowering. Jason, I have a question for you. He goes on. Do you actually want to be in school? Sounded more like a rhetorical question to me. I make a face and Mr. Rogers reacts by saying, I'm serious, Jason. Do you actually want to make it to year 11? Because if you don't, you may as well drop out now. Are you saying I'm failing? There's no way out of it, Jason. There's only 1 term left, and if your teachers and I don't see some serious improvement, we'll be forced to hold you back. I double take. Shit. I knew I wasn't the best student, but I didn't know it was this bad. What do I have to do? I ask. He leans over to his desk, grabs a file and begins reading down a list of my current grades. Currently you have low passes in English and Woodtech, fails in science and maths, and your absences in PE are abysmal. As well as that, your teachers have reported you being frequently late, distracted and tired in class, and straight up rude when asked for an explanation. I shrug. Your grades alone are enough for us to keep you back, and your behaviour and attitude hardly helps your cause. He snaps the file shut and puts it back on his desk. Jason, your teachers and I are at the end of our tethers. If you're at all serious about your education, your behaviour needs to change right now. I sit there stunned. I had no idea I was on the verge of failing. This is all happening way too quick. School is becoming yet another hostile and unforgiving environment. Mr. Rogers leans towards me, his eyes locking with mine. So what's it going to be, Jason? He challenges, grinning like he's enjoying having this power over me. Are you going to shape up and start knuckling down, or are we going to have to fail you? I sit there, my mind racing. I don't want to make the wrong decision. I want to pass, I say. Is that so? Mr. Rogers mocks. Because from your marks, it looks like you couldn't give a damn about school. You have been given an opportunity, Jason, an opportunity to succeed, he starts to rant. You have 2 choices. You can buckle down, put effort in, and achieve your goals, or you can do what you've been doing your whole life and laze around putting 0 effort in and expecting to get all the reward. I feel my blood pressure rising. Mr. Rogers didn't know anything about me. He didn't know anything about anything. He just sits here in his office all day, fiddling with papers and reports, yammering on about opportunity and success. Opportunity is not opportunity if you don't have the means to utilise it. Step up. Be a man. Prove to the world you're just not another deadbeat loser. Enough. I jump to my feet, my chair clattering to the floor. You know what, sir? I sneer. Fuck you. You're just a narrow-minded piece of shit who hides in his office all day and has no idea about the real world. Mr. Rogers' jaw drops, his expression frozen in time as if I'd clobbered him. I turn on my heels and head for the door. Behind me, Mr. Rogers scrambles up from his desk. Young man, you better not. Don't walk out that door. I open the door and stride through it, slamming it shut, cutting off his voice. There's going to be hell to pay, but I don't care. I'm so pissed off I don't care about anything. If you're enjoying this book, please take the time to like, comment, share, and follow. This helps me, the author, considerably, and means I can keep producing content for free forever. Thank you, and have an awesome day.